On previous radio shows, I have highlighted how devious the personal self can be, far more than people might realize. Generally, it is a standard practice then, should one wish to become more aware and eventually have no need of the personal created self, to keep then the emotions and thoughts under control. Easier said than achieved. It is a discipline all of its own, as we carry the personal self with us as long as we have the creational life-level vehicles that embody it. Standing in the new nowness will have us connected with our real awareness, the personal self still there, and we might imagine it tapping on the bubble of awareness and real intent we place ourselves in, trying to get our attention and focus on things that it desires. At least, though, from this summation, the method is at least laid out, and then it falls to us as individuals to execute it to whatever degree we choose. As deciders, we will then decide to what extent we do stand in our real beingness, and our experience and life will be in accordance, everything equaling itself. Self-perception is also a factor to be considered. This would be a part of our personal self too, bundled in with the emotions and thought processes, the over-analytical, literal created self. The way we perceive ourselves, regardless of how that is generally from a personal perspective also. We consider ourselves to be the vehicle we inhabit, the vehicle that is simply a tool for experience purposes, and through the experiences, real intent recognition and awareness becoming also will be our created consciousness, all the experiences catalogued and stored, and how we reacted, responded, and dealt with these experiences. Our created personalities, inclinations, and general conduct a result of these endless lifetimes of experience, and so the experiences are not only stored in our causal body, but they become charged ideas, as we tend attach emotion to all we encounter. So an individual who, say, has an inflated opinion of himself, this created personality would be forged from experiences that moulded such a state of being. The individual discovered that such an attitude was most effective in dealing with the experiences generally that came their way. This would, from the personal self's point of view, seem a benefit, far easier to survive in a world with an edge in ego over others. A confidence, then, although exaggerated to a degree, would undoubtedly hold them in good stead in the passing dream of creation. But irrespective of whatever personality we decide upon that seems a benefit, even to be a withdrawn person may be deemed such, as it allows the individual to survive by simply shrinking away from abrasive and challenging situations, and not having to deal with them. It's very likely most personality types will be more or less maintained. The only thing that would alter them would be an experience where whatever trait of being had held the individual in good survival stead fails them, and this would go into the causal memory body also. And if enough of these failed situations did occur, a re-evaluation of what had been, up until this point, a seemingly advantageous way of being. But all these personalities and attitudes are created and form our created consciousness, and are layers of additional filters upon who we really are, that of a being of pure light, standing real in the real universes. The realization of being this is buried beneath the created self, the shrinking violet personality, or the overblown ego. We would naturally continue like this indefinitely, were it not for the opportunity of the ears, as the real universal guides see a tiny degree of courage, and extend their hand to at least give the individual the chance to break free of all the lifetimes of dreary drudgery, control, slavery, and unconsciousness. Of course, it's up to the individual to accept the opportunity. The guides won't carry them to the ears. The individual is already there, and simply must recognize this, and begin peeling back the literalized created layers that obscure this realization. Some of the real side dream experiences will reveal insight into the aspects of the created personality that hinder the process. Of course, the personality and created self in its entirety is hindering us, but it is a long journey and best taken in steps. One facet of the created self at a time to be dealt with. An agreement dissolved here, a tap line removed there. At the pace the individual can handle. Again, that is their choice as to the speed they progress. All of the real side demonstrations are such that the real intent can be established, recognized, and made real. As we are shown what the is not, and if we accept it and take it on, face the experience and everything in creation, and understand with our awareness everything we do experience in creation as the ideas that they are. Eventually we work through every possible scenario, every imaginable idea, and we can package it all and place it in a real side waste bin. For yes, all experience was essential for our recognition of the is, through comparison, and once everything is successfully worked through, nothing is clung to. Outdated ideas and identifying with any aspect of the created self, then all that can be left is the real intent, and we stand real now with the is. Peter, my father, had a dream of this nature, where it was revealed to him an aspect of his created personality that acts as a drag anchor at this moment. It was a part of his created personality that he would have formed over who knows how many lifetimes ago, that the personal self would have clung to, as it seemed the most effective tool for the personal self. In the dream, he was invited to a gathering of the new friends. The meeting took place in a grand ballroom, and all the new friends were immaculately dressed, and positively radiated with their splendour and degree of attractiveness. In came Peter, and he was quite the opposite, his attire very drab in comparison, and the new friends didn't seem to acknowledge him. The personal self may well have begun its thinking assessment of this situation, charged it with emotion, and pronounced then the new friends to be perhaps snobs, with inflated opinions of themselves. But the real side experiences are all about the individual having them, catered for greater awareness purposes, and real intent recognition, and the opportunity to accept parts of the created self that no longer serve as a benefit, and that ought to be addressed and released. Objectivity is the key, and in this case it was not the conduct of the new friends that the dream revealed, but more so Peter's created personality, the highlighted aspect of it being how he considers himself. In this case, then, his personal self had accepted the limited consideration that he wasn't as adept at the awareness process as the others, his grasp of it lacking, and this was exemplified in his manner of comparative address. In our experiences, the world we create for ourselves, the lives we have, are moulded by what we decide, and also how we view ourselves. The attitudes and decided upon details come first, then the experiences and life follows, everything equaling itself. Everything reflects upon itself. It is a lesson unto itself. We can see how we have decided to be, based on where we are in life. Everything in our experience is a reflection of that which we have decided that we are. The real side dream experiences follow along these lines also. We can only have awareness-enhancing dream demonstrations and keep progressing with them according to the extent which we permit them to unfold, and that is according to the self-limited created layers we have applied to our personal selves, almost acting like shields in a way. The denser our shields, the less can penetrate, to the extent that an individual 100% immersed in the personal self has an impenetrable shield almost. As we address these self-limiting attachments, the shield thins, and more of the ears can pass through. The experiences more awareness-enhancingly profound, until the shield is completely gone. Then we simply are standing with the ears, and we are everything that the shield prevented us from being and recognizing.